there are certain things where once you get to 40, you are who you are. Right? Now, there are a lot of people in my life that are like, man, you're different now than you were a year ago before you got this college head coaching job. Yeah, maybe. I'm definitely busier. My life in Green Bay is way easier. It was 2 hours to get here, 22 to the 405. Today, it's 4 minutes to work in Green Bay. So I got more time to be more productive. But I just kind of think like, okay, so who am I? I'm not great with time. I think everybody in me knows that. Okay. I am a really good communicator, probably over-communicate, especially via text. Right? I generally am a pretty thoughtful person. It doesn't take extra things to do the extra things. I completely disagree and always have with Colin. I wear my hat backwards, always have, probably always will. That's who I am, right? Oh, I like comfortable sweats, comfortable T-shirts. I don't overdress. I don't underdress. I just dress. I know what I like to eat. I mean, really, I like to eat just about anything. I don't eat pasta for the most part, because I stay away from the carbs. And I don't eat Indian food because I just don't like it. Right? Stop trying to convince me that, no. This chutney is, I don't like curry. That's just, Steph Curry, Seth Curry, impressed by, but no one has a Seth Curry fan. Actual Curry, no, not so much. Once you're 40, you kind of are who you are. And you surround yourself with people who, they don't have to like every part about you, but they accept you for who you are. Aaron Rodgers is 40, is he not? Okay, so he still has not decided or publicly announced if he's playing next year. And with that, not only has he not decided or announced if he's playing next year, but the thought is that the one team he can still go start, and it's a playoff caliber team that just added an absolute stud at wide receiver, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's an expression that I think most of us know and we use, and it probably gets overused, which is that tracks. That tracks. And that tracks generally means yeah, I got it. That's kind of par for the course, right? That's going to happen. I get it. Yep, that's him. That's who he is. He's 40. We got it, right? Can we all come to the conclusion that Aaron Rodgers is going to make a decision about playing football next year? Over this weekend? I don't think it will hijack the NCAA tournament, and I don't necessarily think he's going to do it because it hijacks the NCAA tournament. I just think he's going to do it, and it will partially hijack the NCAA tournament because that tracks. Am I making sense? A surprise to absolutely positively no one. Cam Hayward is kind of the spokesperson for the current Steelers, right? He actually has his own podcast. I thought he put it best when he said this the other day.
I ain't doing that or darkness retreat. I don't need any of that crap. Either you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or you don't. That's simple. That's the pitch. If you want me to recruit, that's the recruiting pitch. Pittsburgh Steelers. If you want to be part of it, so be it. If you don't, no skin on my back.
That's perfect, right? Is it that much? It's not like, do you know the culture of Pittsburgh? No. Okay? You don't. But Aaron Rodgers has been a professional football player for almost as much time as he has not been a professional football player. Am I making sense? Right? He came out of Cal, so he was 21, 22 years old, right? So it's about even. Basically, his entire adult life, this is what he's done. So there's not really a lot of suspense. Is there a newness to playing for a new organization? Sure. I think, I don't know, And Mike Tomlin hasn't said, but my guess is, hey, dude, if you're going to come play for us, you're not going to do McAfee's pod. We know McAfee is a Pittsburgh guy. Okay, you can appear on it, but you're not doing the weekly thing. Like, we want to win football games, and the rest will take care of itself. And look, there's a good part of me that feels empathetic towards Aaron Rodgers and the report that came out yesterday, which is that apparently TV isn't interested in him. TV isn't interested in him. And I think they're not interested in him for reasons that I understand completely. Like when I call basketball games, I know it's about the basketball game. It's not a radio show. I've obviously had to learn the cadence and not to overtalk, and that takes time, and that the pace of things and getting in and getting out. And look, there's occasionally like we had fun moments when I would do games, but the issue that corporate America has is they want safe. They want safe. When I was at CBS, the now president of CBS, Dave Burson, who's a friend and I think he was a good leader, was there. And he said, hey, our only issue with you is we don't know what you're going to say next. And I said, Dave, isn't that like a good thing? Like you want to know, like, what is he going to say next? He's like, yeah. It's like at the profile of games and studio stuff you're going to be calling, like Barkley can get away with that. You can't. You can't. And again, you look, and Matt Ryan is in studio for CBS, right? And I think Matt Ryan's really good. J.J. Watt is in studio for CBS. Tom Brady is calling game for Fox. Like Tom Brady, he hasn't figured it out yet. He will. Right? At some point, he'll be the real Tom Brady on air, because I'm sure the real Tom Brady, he wouldn't have that many friends. And, I mean, Edelman is an awesome dude, right? Once he gets away from being corporate Tom Brady, like, he'll be really, really good. But the point is that the reason they like Tom Brady is not just all of the rings, it's that Tom Brady's safe. And I'm empathetic towards Aaron Rodgers because he has all these different thoughts. He wonders about things, and he's been open about it. And there's been a docuseries about him, right? And a book written about it. And he's on McAfee, and he expounds on it. My guess is if he's going to call a game, he'd actually just call a game. But TV, like, man, I don't want to take that risk. So I'm empathetic towards, here's a super bright guy, a multi-time MVP, a first ballot Hall of Famer, a guy who has checked every box. There is not a box that Aaron Rodgers doesn't check as a player. Intelligence, athleticism, accuracy, arm strength, like clutch in key moments, toughness, all of those things he checks. And yet there's like one good team in the NFL that wants him, and TV doesn't want him. So I'm empathetic towards it. But dude, pooper, get off the pot, right? I mean, you got Cam Hayward sitting there going, like, if the Pittsburgh Steelers just had a quarterback, they haven't had a quarterback since Ben Roethlisberger's before his last 2 years, right? Remember when Antonio Brown, no-showed at practice, right? That was the last time that Ben Roethlisberger was a relatively decent quarterback. After that, it was they haven't had an elite-level quarterback. If you just put a high-quality quarterback on the team last year, they might go to the Super Bowl. And Cam Hayward's like, hey, dude, I'm not doing any of that stuff. Do you want to play for us or not? So the idea that Aaron Rodgers will hijack the NCAA tournament is, if I had to give a percentage, 95%, right? There's like a 95% likelihood that Aaron Rodgers will make some sort of tweet or announcement, or Schefter will put it out there, or Glazer will put it out there, probably in the next 2 days. It feels like 95% possibility, because that's who he is. And once you're 40 years old, like, it's kind of who you are, right? Lean into who you are, hire people or be around people who can either fill those voids or accept what you don't do. Because his whole idea of, I'm going to remake myself. Hey, come on, man. All those guys that remake themselves, go to Turkey, get a hair transplant, buy a Porsche, change jobs. They're still the same guy at their core.